Delvon Digital here, and welcome to another podcast. This is the Tech Channel. Let's get right into it. Now, before we get started into this podcast, it's something that I gotta say before we actually begin because of humans, right? We gotta love humans. So this is my wish list, and it's mine, okay? Whether this stuff is realistic or not realistic, or you find whatever I say is okay right now, that doesn't mean that it's okay with everybody, okay? So the things that I'm about to talk about that I wish that Apple would do in WWDC with iOS 16, this is my wish list. So some of you may relate. Some of you probably like, I'm fine with doing this. I'm fine with doing it this way and doing it this way and handling it this way. By all means, do you, bro? Do you, sis? But I got some things I want changed. So we're going to get right into it. It's not a lot. It's just a few things. And I'm going to kind of explain what I mean by each of them and how they can change how I work with iOS. And yeah, just for the better. So things that I want to see with iOS 16 this year. So I got my list right here, so I'll make sure I don't forget anything this time around. So the first thing is a pain in my ass. Because I am a photographer, I work with a whole lot of files. Transferring. The way that iOS handles transferring files, and really real quick, I'm speaking about, you know, when I'm talking about these things, I'm talking about it on the iPhone and I'm talking about it on the iPad OS as well. The file system mainly that I'm talking about is really more catered towards the iPad itself, because the iPad has programs up there that I can use to actually edit photos and videos. So I wouldn't do that on a phone. I would never edit on a phone. In fact, I don't really edit on a tablet, but I'm trying to be more open to it. So, you know, I would like to put stuff on my tablet and head out the house. And while I'm out and about, get some work done, you know, just pop the tablet, flip it open, pull out the pen and just start working. So for me to be able to do that, I need a file system. And we're talking about the Files app. I think that Apple's Files app is trash. So I came home and I took some 4K footage. It was about 128 gigabytes. I know that's a lot. And it was like 8-bit, I believe, too, as well, on top of that. So it was pretty big. So I asked on Twitter, I said, how can I get these files to my iPad? A lot of people was like AirDrop, and some people like said transfer, you know, through the USB and stuff like that. Now, I know about the USB situation or whatever, but I just really didn't feel like disconnecting it from the computer, connected it to the iPad and sitting there waiting for the transfer, which is, you know, because it was on my actual external hard drive. But then the other way would be me putting in a USB thumb drive, putting that in there, and then transferring that over. But again, my thumb drive that I have, the biggest thumb drive I have is 128, because I don't really transfer video projects like that. But I was curious to get on the iPad and do some video editing. So I tried it with AirDrop 3 times. Right before I had to go to work. Like, not right before, but like hours before I had to go to work. I went ahead and started the transfer, and it was moving very, 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 very slow. Took a nap, I woke up, it said it failed. So I was like, oh my God. So I went back and started again. Came back another hour later to check and see the progress, failed again. Now I'm like 40 minutes before I got to get to work. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get this footage onto my iPad. So I literally, that day, I went to work without the footage. So on my break and the free time that I did have at work, or when I was out, I wasn't able to do any photo editing on the iPad like I wanted to. So that's what happened. And I still didn't get that footage up here yet. So I just gave up completely. I know there's other ways to get that up here through the USB. And, you know, I just didn't feel like doing it. So, you know, but let me just explain what the process I did. So instead of doing the video, I just gave up on it. I put photos onto the iCloud. And then when they went to the iCloud, I got to work. This was the following day. It was on iCloud, and I went to my iPad, and then I went to the Photos app, and I was trying to see if I can see the photos through the Photos app, and grab which ones I want to see and stuff like that. So what happens is that it's in the iCloud, which is in the Files Manager app. I got to go there. I have to download them, okay, to the app, to the Files app. And then after I download them, I have to send them to the Photos app. And when I do that, it duplicates it. So if I got like 80 gigs of photos, it's going to duplicate another 80 gigs of photos on my iPad, instead of just allowing me to view them inside the Photos app, which I can view them inside the Files app, right? But I have to click and then slide. I don't like navigating through the Files app at all. When I see my raw files on the Photos app, it's so much better. I think that iPad does handle raw files really, really good, better than my Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. Because normally when I take pictures, and just say not professional pictures, I'll say more like just pictures around the house or family pictures or whatever, just nothing like for a client. I'll plug it up to the iPad, and then it'll transfer right over, and it's fine. So so somebody told me, Apple guy on Twitter told me that, yeah, man, I don't like the way it works, but this is how Apple's file system is. It's going to duplicate the file. It's going to do that. So you just got to delete it from the Files app and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, bro, I wish I could just plug like and another thing, if I change the file name on my camera, like, I think it says DCIM. If that name gets changed, then my iPad won't recognize it for me to transfer it from there to there. I'll literally have to like do it like USB or something like that. Cause I had took some pictures and just dropped them onto the SD card, strictly to the SD card in the camera. And the camera didn't see, the iPad didn't see it. But once I made that folder, then I dropped it in there. That's when it seen it. I was like, okay, that's just too much. So just me dealing with the files is just bad. So, you got AirDrop, which is fine. It works, but I wouldn't do it for large files. Simple stuff, I had no problem with it failing. It never failed. I could do like a gig and it'd be fine, but I think I haven't done anything so massively, but people said you could do it. I tried it, so failed. Connecting external hard drive, I know that works. I did that plenty of times back in the days. Again, I just didn't want to keep on unplugging my external hard drives from my computers. I hate doing that because, you keep on unplugging them back up. Eventually, they're going to fail on you probably, so I just like to keep it just there until I fill it up, and then I swap it out another one until I need it or whatever case may be. So I don't like to do all that plugging and unplugging. And then transferring it to a USB. Then I got to transfer it to a USB to the, from the computer to the USB, and then plug it up to the iPad, then transfer it from there to the iPad. And then again, I have to probably kind of still download it and pull it to the Files app, the Photos app, so I can see the video and grab them from there, or work completely out the Files app, which I don't really like working out the Files app. So yeah, so that, and then there's the, somebody told me I can do it through direct connect with the USB Type-C to the computer, and that wanted me to import it. So that was like using iTunes all over it. I just didn't want to do that. So better Files app. All right, next thing is I want them to get rid of the snap grid, where we can't put our icons anywhere we want them. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I don't care if you're fine with that. That's you, bro. Don't, this ain't about you. Okay, this is my video. All right, this is about me. I don't like the snap grid. I like to put icons wherever I want to put them, and it ain't gotta be an Android thing. You get Android. Fuck you. I want that for iOS. I want that type of control where I can just choose the icons where I want them at. So the snap grid, I wish it would go. I wish they would just let us have the freedom to just put it. I don't see the problem in that. iOS, Apple always want to control every little experience. If you want the snap grid, you can use the snap grid. And then if they give us a choice not to use the snap grid, that would be great. Choices is always good. So again, if you don't care, fuck you. Don't care that you don't care. Don't care if you love it. Don't care. This is my list, like I said the first time. So the other thing is that the rearrangement of the app library, I'm I'm having a hard time understanding, sorry, the reason for it. To be honest with you, I guess to tuck apps away so you won't have to have them on your home screen. I mean, I guess instead of a hide button, this is where you hide them at. Uh, but I wish that we can actually make our own folders and put the things in there. The way Apple organizes it for me, I really don't like it at all. I really don't. They put apps in categories I wouldn't put an app there, and then when I'm trying to use it to look for it, then but then people will say, "Hey, man, just use the search feature." Well, I mean, I don't want to use a search feature. I don't want to have to search for an app every time. It's so much easier, especially if I'm using my Android device, how I got things organized in the folders. It's so much easier, muscle memory for me to just go to that folder and know where my stuff at. If it says movies or it says media, I know that anything dealing with that is there or whatever. But then Apple has this weird category where they put certain productivities here and productivity stuff here, or I want a section that says business, meaning that I know that this is all my business stuff for my phone. I just want to be able to organize it and have it the way that I want it, and therefore I can find it without having to keep on searching for an app. Or I could put it on my home screen, right, and use it that way. But I don't know. I'm a person who definitely like clean home screens, and I don't like a bunch of folders all over my home screens either. So it's like, again, you'll probably say, go get an Android, right? I got an Android, but it's not even about that, bro. Like, because I want this for iOS, maybe I don't want to be on iOS. Maybe I want to be, maybe I don't want to be on Android. Maybe I want to be on iOS, but maybe it's these little things that I want them to change before I can move over to make my life a lot easier. I don't like icons all over, my screen, like on the iPads and on iOS and how they do it. I don't, but there's ways I can rearrange that using invisible widgets and all of this stuff, and that's more of a headache to do than to just let them shit stay up there. So I just let them stay up there until Apple decide to give us the freedom to do it, or if they never do, I'm just going to have to deal with it, because that's what we deal with these products. If companies don't do anything that we like, we have to deal with it if we want to use the product. I still want to use my iPhone. I still want to use my Android. So whatever bullshit that Samsung or Google does, I got to deal with. Whatever bullshit that Apple does, I got to deal with. And that's just what it is, unless I come up with my own. Get money. Anyways, notifications. I see this battle all the time, man. People are like, notifications are good on iOS and notifications are bad. Bruh, for me, they're bad. I don't like them. I don't know what else to say. There's nothing really much to say about it. They just got to get better. The only thing that I would say is like what I tell a lot of friends, just copy Android if you need to. Or copy somebody. Just change it. I don't really care, because I know I probably triggered you by saying copy Android. You're like, I don't like Androids either. I don't care. Okay. I don't like iOS's, and I need it changed. I want it changed. That's on my wish list. They don't ever change it. It's cool, because I found a way to deal with it, or work around it, just turning them bitches off. So no biggie for me. So the next thing is this is a big one for me. So when I'm on Twitter, because I'll be on Twitter a lot, and somebody send me like a YouTube link, and then I click on that YouTube video, it literally opens up under my browser. I guess sometimes Safari or really Chrome, because I don't really use Safari, but I open under Chrome and it plays the video. Of course, I'm not signed in on my Chrome browser because I got the whole YouTube app up there. Opens up under there, and then I try to get it to open up under the actual app, and then I have to send it from Chrome to Safari, and then Safari sometimes, not all the time, and I don't know what triggers it and what don't trigger it. I haven't figured that out yet, but sometimes it'll have like a little box at the top and it says open in app, and I'm like, okay, good. So now I open it in app, and then I can watch it. Literally on Android, if you click on a YouTube video almost anywhere, it would just open up the app. I wish that iOS did that too. I don't know if it's an Apple thing. It is, because it happens everywhere. It don't really matter. Excuse me. I could be in a browser. I could be anywhere. If I click on a YouTube video, it will not default to the YouTube app. I'm assuming maybe if I'm using Safari, it still won't default to it, but it'll give me the option to click it. like I say, sometimes that activates itself, sometimes it don't. Sometimes when it does it, I click out of the browser, go back, and then click on Safari, because I don't use Safari as the default. I use Google Chrome. But it just doesn't. I just wish that I can just set default apps to open up. I don't know if there's any other apps out there that that may frustrate some of you, that when you click it, it doesn't open it up. I know, like another app I use, Reddit. I know that's another one. Reddit will ask to open up the browser, continue browsing it, or go to the app. On Android, it just goes to, if you got the app installed, it goes straight to the app or whatever. But on iOS, it's asking you, do you want to read this in the browser, or do you want to use the app? Like, just open up the app, because that's why I got the app up here. So I don't know. I don't know if any other apps does that, or if there's a workaround or whatever. I really didn't care to even look for it, because to be honest with you, if you are a core iPhone person who just grabs the phone and just use it, you might be fine with everything that Apple does. But coming like from being an Android guy and having a little bit of freedom to customize a little bit. I mean, I don't even need like mad customization. I just need simple things. A lot of the stuff about iOS frustrates me when using, because it's always like a lot of workarounds. I hear people say it's simplicity. iOS has simplicity. Since day one, never. I don't even know where that crazy rumor came from. Since day one, never. It's simple because you don't care. You don't know nothing about the things that you could possibly do. So now, therefore, it's simple to you. But that's not simplicity to me. I'm sorry. It's more frustrating, because whenever I use an iOS device, I find myself doing more workarounds than just direct. So more workarounds than direct. But Apple got a lot of direct stuff too as well. Don't get me wrong. But between the two, there's more workarounds on iOS. So simplicity, you missed me with that shit. The next thing is, the Control Center. I really don't have a problem. A lot of people have a problem with Control Center. A lot. I like the way it looks. I don't have any issues. I guess the reason why I put this on the list is because it's only one thing that I wish they would change, right? So I want to get to my settings faster within iOS. So normally I have like the settings app, or I guess, do we call it app, icon on my home screen, so I can get to the settings of my phone. And I know with Android, you can get through your settings, that way. Well, not really that way. You swipe down from our notification panel, and then you click on the settings app, and then it takes you straight there. Or, and this is what I really want iOS to do, is like, say I want to change my Bluetooth or go into the Bluetooth settings itself, I can swipe down and long press on the Bluetooth icon, and it takes me straight to all my settings, all my Bluetooth stuff. On iOS, it doesn't do that. It just gives me options like the turn off or some other things. So what I mean by Control Center, I just wish that there was a way faster way to just get to the settings of everything, like my Wi-Fi settings. Let me swipe down and see, like if I long press Bluetooth, so it don't even give me Bluetooth options. It just says Bluetooth turn on and off, and I just turned it off, so my pencil don't work. Oh yeah, man, I hate that Apple Pencil works on Bluetooth, because if your Bluetooth ever mess up on iOS, you can't even use your pen. At least Samsung did it with the built-in Wacom and all that. So smarter move, by the way. So you can still use your pen even though your pen is dead and you don't have no Bluetooth, or signal is not being corrupted by, I don't know, some jets flying over your house or whatever. So yeah, but this ain't about that. Anyways, so when I click on it, it doesn't really take me into the settings of it. It's just giving me options to turn things on and off and stuff like that. So I don't know, if I just wish that when you long press certain things, you can just go straight into, or just put a little settings icon right there, so I won't have to always use it on my home screen, because I don't really care for it to be on my home screen. I'd rather just put it in the app library or whatever. But I keep it there because it's the fastest way I know how to get back to my settings, again, without having to do the search, because that searching thing ain't for me. That's for you, bro, and all of y'all that do it. That's for y'all. I can't do it. Anyways, the last thing is I want to be able to. This is more of an iPad thing. This is not really more so of like iPhone thing, but I really want to be able to use my Apple Pencil to navigate the iPad itself. It's like certain things just don't work. Like I just can't navigate with this. I have to use my actual finger to navigate. And, maybe it's because I'm used to doing that on my Galaxy tablet, because they give you the option to navigate your whole entire system with your S Pen. And I got used to that because, I don't have to like swap out when I'm drawing and doing things on my S7 Plus. It's so much easier. Like if I got to go check a notification or, go to Twitter real quick and see some stuff, or click on, just click on stuff or change music or change the movies. I don't have to like, put the pen down like that or put it away like that real quick and start going like that. I could just, while I'm drawing just like this, I'm drawing and then I'm like, oh yeah, let me go. And I use my swipe gesture, go home, boom, go click on that, boom, get back, and I'm back to art with it. When I'm using the iPad drawing, I gotta swap, gotta do this. Okay, boom, then get back to it. Is it a big deal? No, not a big deal. But if it's something I definitely want to see, yeah, why not? I don't understand why we can't navigate. It'll just make things that much easier. Again, like I say, workarounds with iOS, there's another workaround, but it's not like a groundbreaking, oh, I'm not going to ever use this, whatever. Like, it's just a simple, just let us do it, Apple. What's the problem? Yeah, what's the problem, Apple? All right. So anyways, that is my iOS 16 wish list. I don't think it's impossible. None of it. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to see what's coming for WWDC. Not more so for the iPhone. I really don't care because I don't feel like there's going to be any major changes to that. But I'm more excited about what they may do with the iPad. We say this every year, don't we? We say the same shit every year, right? I think it was like iOS 14 or 15. We was thinking that they were going to like do like a Dex mode or give us, no, not even Dex mode. Now we want Dex mode, right? But it was more like, we thought we was going to get professional apps with the M1 and we don't, but we might, right? It's always that might, because that's where we at again, right? We at that might. Let's hope, right? So if we don't get it on 16, we're gonna like, then next year, we're going to be making this video, or at least I'm going to be making this video saying the same thing. And I don't know, it's becoming a little repetitive now with iOS, with Apple, when we say these things that we want and we never get it. So, but it's fun. It's fun. I mean, we say these things because we're the real users. And well, let me rephrase this. Some of us are power users. So a lot of this stuff will make our lives a lot easier because we use things differently than the average user. So the average users may not have any issues with any of the stuff that I just said, which is perfectly fine. But as power users, we want a little bit more out of it that we can push out, because I wouldn't mind using, my iPad as a main, not computer ever, but I wouldn't mind using it for professional stuff, which some people do. Kudos to them, by the way. Definitely kudos to you. But I can't. No matter how much power it is, it's just the applications aren't that powerful. Like Photoshop up here is trash compared to Photoshop on the computer, obviously, right? When I'm using Photoshop on my Mac or PC, I have like all these plugins. I have all this extra raw power, not power as in far as the processor going, but I mean like the app itself is nothing holding the app back. On the iPad, it's a lot holding this app back. And that's just how it is. So anyways, I'll catch you in the next podcast. I appreciate you if you're listening in. I appreciate you if you're watching this. Catch you next week. Peace.